Welcome to Mock the Mock, where I take a look at someone else's mock draft and I mock it, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. I got a great one for today. Again, a special thanks to our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Thank you for sponsoring today's video, but let's go ahead, get into this sucker. We're traveling to the CBS, taking a look at Josh Edwards and his mock draft. Other places just aren't doing mock drafts right now. The Athletic doesn't have any, PFF doesn't have any. So we're just here ragging on CBS again, but they honestly have some of the more fun mock drafts in my opinion. But it is reverse Super Bowl odds. That's the draft order. Don't fight me on it. And we got pick one, New York Jets. They go with Fernando Mendoza, quarterback out of Indiana. And yes, he's probably played the best among the quarterbacks that you're probably gonna be willing to take first overall. If you're the Jets, Justin Fields ain't it. Shoot, man, maybe they might be looking for another head coach if things keep going so bad in year one. But Jets going quarterback, that makes sense to me. Pick two, New Orleans Saints go Ruben Bain Jr. Edge out of the U, baby, the U. Pass rush, this makes sense to me. Saints, if you're encouraged enough with Spencer Rattler, or maybe at some point we see Tyler Shuck, and you're encouraged by that. But right now it's more likely, okay, Spencer Rattler's playing good football, so maybe you don't have to be in on quarterback in potentially a down class. So going with the best non-quarterback prospect makes a lot of sense to me. Pick three, Tennessee Titans go with Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State. So far, a paint by the numbers mock draft. I think Calvin Ridley's time with Tennessee might be up. He's just had re-aggravated a hamstring injury he was dealing with at the early part of the season. And just they invested so much on the offensive line. You almost feel like, yeah, we have to go wide receiver if we're going to do something to help out Cam Ward. They already fired their head coach. They're probably going to want to bring in an offensive-minded head coach. Do I hear a Joe Brady maybe? Just saying. So, Jordan Tyson, I would love that addition for Cam Ward. Pick four. We got Peter Woods going to the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm sure the Raiders, that's what they want. Another Clemson defensive lineman picked in the top 5. Woods is good, though. They could add him to the interior, just continue to just put guys on that defensive line, try to get on and get after it. You could also consider quarterback. You could also consider offensive line. You can consider, if you're not going edge or Peter Woods, then I don't think you'd go corner here just because corner class, it feels nicer to take that first corner, I think somewhere around pick 10 rather than pick 4. So I guess I don't mind the Peter Woods pick. I think I might swing on a quarterback here. Just knowing you got Geno Smith and you don't have to move off of him, though you can at any point. So, But before we get into pick 5, if you want to know more about the prospects in this draft class, then I got good news for you. I have a draft guide, and I've just currently updated my position rankings, so you might want to check it out. We love the NFL draft, and now my draft guide is available for purchase. It comes with over 500 player backgrounds and close to 300 player evals. It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So when I add a new eval or I change my rankings, you're going to be the first to know. It's going to have all the pro day and combine numbers along with analytics. And it's a Google spreadsheet for right now. So you have to include your email with the purchase, but we will be switching over to a website at the end of the year. And if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper now than it will be later. It's a great way to support the channel. And as always, much appreciated, much obliged. Pick 5, Miami Dolphins go with the quarterback. It's Dante Moore out of Oregon. Don't think he comes out this season, but you'd be a fool not to include him in mocks. Really, the only quarterback you shouldn't include in mock drafts right now is Arch Manning. But Dolphins fans have given me pushback on, well, we don't need a quarterback. And not necessarily, I don't think they mean we don't need a quarterback, like our quarterback position solved. But, well, if we take a quarterback in what is maybe a disappointing class, does that really help us? You know, and I get that. I get that. Maybe you go wide receiver or offensive line, offensive tackle. Here, I think that's plausible as well. I think one way or another, though, you're stuck with Tua through the 2026 season, because that's the best time to financially get off of Tua. It just makes more sense that way. But all I'm really trying to say is, if the Dolphins fall in love with a quarterback, they're in the market for a quarterback. Because think about it with Tua. I don't think Tua is ever going to be consistently a top half of the league starter. And I simply think you just can't win a Super Bowl with a starter that's not at least a top half of the league starter. You can get to one. I don't think you're going to win one. You know, I don't think you're going to win one with Rex Grossman. I just don't. And it's just harder to do in today's day and age. Maybe you get lucky and get Mr. Irrelevant and you hit. You're just not going to find that guy on day 3. So we shouldn't be trying. We should be trying to take a shot on that guy in the first round. Because at the end of the day, it's like first round quarterbacks. Typically the teams that have success in getting to the playoffs and making pushes in the playoffs have a first round quarterback. I mean, think about it. Matthew Stafford is like, well, they got him via trade. Yeah, they traded their former first round quarterback in Jared Goff, who was another great example. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I mean, you're going to have cases where it's like, hey, this day 2 pick, we had Jalen Hurts. It really worked out. I mean, they built a really good team around him, though. Tom Brady. Okay, cool. A team hit on the best quarterback of all time in the 6th round. Guess what? Not going to happen. It's just not. If you think, hey, that can be us, probably won't be you. That's enough about pick 5, man. I spent too much time on this sucker. Pick 6, Lenore Sellers, quarterback out of South Carolina, going to the Cleveland Browns. Browns could also be in the quarterback market. Dylan Gabriel didn't look great in his second start. We might see Shador at some point this season, but those were low investment pickups. Gabriel being a 3rd, Sanders being a 5th. They could definitely still be in play for a quarterback if there's a guy that they fancy. Lenore Sellers, it's not been like an ideal year. He's also behind just one of the most atrocious offensive lines in football. I quoted this yesterday, but in that LSU game, he was pressured on 26 of 40 dropbacks. That's 65%. And for him to be able to make something out of nothing in that game, I thought was impressive. Is he complete as a passer? Absolutely not. He's still figuring it out. A lot of starts under his belt, though. I just don't think his anticipation is going to get better if he's consistently under pressure. He needs to be in a better situation. Pick 7, Jermod McCoy, corner out of Tennessee, going to the Panthers. Panthers could do a lot of different things here, and I think I'd be okay with it. They could even take a quarterback, maybe. I don't know. Bryce Young's got the team winning, though. Watch out. They're 3-3 now. I say Bryce Young's got the team winning. Rico Dottle has the team winning. But their defense is actually pretty darn solid. You could add another corner to that room, but I think they have a good cornerback room for the most part. McCoy, though, it's kind of tough to project where he may go. And even where do you want to put him in your rankings? You probably have to stick with what you had, where you had him at coming into the year, just because we haven't seen him play this year because he's coming off the ACL injury from January. Pick 8, Cincinnati Bengals go with Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State. Actually, this should have been the Panthers pick, Caleb Downs. How are the safeties doing? I know like Jordan Battle's been all right. Who else do they got at safety there in Cincinnati? Like, I'm just kind of blanking off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Once Joe Burrow went down, I was like, okay, I really don't have to watch much of the Cincinnati Bengals this year anymore. All right, so currently it's still Geno Stone. Oh, Stone's been all right. So the safety situation's been actually okay. Is Dax Hill playing in? Yeah, he's playing primarily in the slot. That's fine. DJ Turner's having himself a good year. 8 pass breakups. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Cam Taylor-Britt, man. Kind of crazy how he's fallen off the last couple of years, Cam Taylor-Britt. Yeah, he's probably gone out of Cincy after this year. I don't think they have handed him a... extension, right? He's still on his rookie deal, if I'm to be correct. And sometimes I am. Yeah, he's still on his rookie deal, so he's probably going elsewhere because, again, the play the last 2 years just hasn't been great from him. But Caleb Downs would be a nice get. Oh, how are we going to figure out how to do it? Well, I mean, shoot. Just either start running 3 safety sets or just be like, well, Caleb Downs is a hell of a prospect. Sorry, guys. He's probably better than both y'all. But before we get into pick 9, let me give a shout out to our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Download the app. Take your phone. Download that sucker right now. Type in promo code Broshmo and they match your first deposit up to $1,000 dues. It's the best place for weekly best ball, or my favorite, higher lower on player stats. It's a fun way to play during the NFL season. So if you want to get in on that action, do it at Underdog Fantasy. Sign up. It's promo code Broshmo. But as always, please play responsibly and play within your means. Pick 9. New York Giants go with Arvell Reese, linebacker out of Ohio State. This is a fascinating one because, I mean, they got Bobby Okereke. I believe that's how he's pronouncing his last name nowadays. We got, was it Micah McFadden, but I think hasn't he been banged up? Didn't he go to IR or something? Don't recall off the top of my head. And then Abdul Carter, who's kind of jumping between the two. Don't really need that difference-making linebacker. You just don't. Probably better suited just taking the first tackle, haven't had a tackle go off the board. It's, to me, that just makes the most sense. Arizona Cardinals. Oh, they go with that. Oh, no, never mind. I was about to say they go with that tackle, but he is being listed as a offensive lineman, in an interior offensive lineman. So they get Spencer Fano out of Utah. He's got less than ideal length, which for some teams will make him a guard only prospect, but I don't necessarily think just because of less than ideal length that makes him not a tackle in the NFL. For goodness sake, we just saw Will Campbell go in the top 4. I think it was 4th overall to the New England Patriots this past draft. So, okay. They say some believe Spence Frano is destined to move inside, but his services are needed here at right tackle. So, okay, so they're drafting him as a right tackle. Okay. I think that makes more sense. Hey, Chicago Bears, they go Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. It's just kind of one of the most popular picks to do in mocks. If Love is available for the Bears, it's kind of hard to pass on him. Ben Johnson, get him a David Montgomery and a Jahmyr Gibbs all stacked into one. Okay, maybe not quite the explosiveness, the dynamicness of Gibbs, but you get what I'm saying. Love's a good back. Probably goes in the first. Question is where? Who's gonna get Love? Who wants Love? All right, pick 12, Dallas Cowboys, Keldrick Folk. They're listing him as a defensive tackle. I think he's kind of a tweener. You can play him inside and out, which along that defensive line, you're content with. Defense is horrible in Dallas. It's losing them games. If they double dip on defensive prospects with their 2 first-round picks, it will shock no one. And we got the Rams going with Francis Maui Noah, offensive tackle out of Miami. So he's going to come in here and be the heir apparent at right tackle. Though I think they probably can cut ties with Rob Havenstein if he doesn't retire. Yeah, that actually makes a world of sense for me. They have 2 picks. If they want to get a franchise quarterback for the future, they can do that with their next pick or probably go corner. I love going corner for the Rams. Pick 14 is Caleb Banks, defensive interior out of Florida, going to the Vikings here. I mean, if I'm being honest, like Banks is hard to project. He's an older prospect, will be 24 to start his rookie year. And he's been plagued by an ankle or a foot injury this season. He missed the first few games after suffering it in fall camp, then re-aggravated it in the LSU game. And we just haven't seen him since. So I think he should probably be out of the first round discussion right now. But again, we got a long season ahead of us. Pick 15. Cleveland Browns are going to go with Carnell Tate. So they did just take a franchise quarterback, and they're going to match that franchise quarterback up with a wide receiver threat. Carnell Tate, probably one of the most high floor wide receivers in this class. Just a solid route runner. Just long legs, glides down the field, can eat up space just with long strides. I think he would probably be the most complete wide receiver that Cleveland would have on their roster. So they take a quarterback and they match him up with a wide receiver. And then pick 16. New England Patriots go with Denzel Boston. Oh, where's my Mekhi Lemon love? Goodness gracious. But they go Denzel Boston, wide receiver out of Washington. And to be fair, you're probably looking for this prototype at wide receiver. Someone that can play outside, can be not just a possession guy, but a big body threat down the field. I'm kind of falling into the camp that Vrabel probably goes with defense with this pick just because they went so offensive heavy last year. But hey, you never know. You never know. Wow, that is good, high quality caffeine. And the Houston Texans are going with Trevor Gooseby, offensive tackle out of Texas. So they do have Ariante Ursary, who you could always kick into guard. Kind of depends on what you're doing at left tackle. Well, I guess you could put Gooseby there. Maybe they're out on Blake Fisher in general, which is fair. Gooseby has experience at both right and left tackle. He's been pretty solid. Outside of the Florida game, I think he's been just really good this season. And even the Florida game, I think he was solid. But yeah, dude's a phenomenal athlete. Pick 18. Pittsburgh Steelers go with Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama. He might be playing the best of these quarterback prospects this year. It's just he doesn't have the size or necessarily maybe the arm talent of some of the guys going ahead of him, whether it's Sellers or Mendoza or Moore. He's got a good arm. Don't get me wrong. He's got a good arm. He's got an NFL arm. I'm not worried about that. It's just not one of these elite cat busters of an arm. But man, the way he's been operating in that Alabama offense, it screams, oh, this is an NFL quarterback. It really does. I wonder if Aaron Rodgers decides to come back for one more year. If they, it seemingly looks like they're going to win the division, go to the playoffs. Can they win a game in the playoffs? We'll see. Pick 19. I'm confused by this. Maybe, maybe not. The Seattle Seahawks are going to go with Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver out of USC. And they mentioned there was always an understanding that Cooper Kupp, whoops, would be in the Pacific North for a short time. Okay, so this is like, okay, well, we have Torrey Horton. JSN's a superstar. But Cooper Kupp is probably done, maybe, at least with us after this season. So you go out and get someone to be a part of that wide receiver trio. So, okay, I can maybe get behind that. I'm not so close-minded to where I'm like, oh, this is not a possibility. Pick 20, Baltimore Ravens go with Anthony Hill, linebacker out of Texas. I don't like it. This team needs pass rush. As far as I know, only 2 pass rushers have been taken off the board. I would go with pass rush. Sure, you can go with linebacker, get that guy that maybe can be the long-term answer next to Roquan Smith. Or you could just do that on day 2 in a very good linebacker class. What do I know? What do I know? Pick 21, Tampa Bay Buccaneers go with, we got to run on linebackers. CJ Allen out of Georgia. Levante David can't play forever. Assumingly, he's still playing good football, by the way. But even if he does return, you need someone next to him. They don't really have a quality option next to Levante David. So Allen, I think, certainly can be that on top of being an heir apparent. Pick 22. Avion Terrell, corner out of Clemson, going to the Colts. Golly. All right. I just want to check something real quick. Because I have a feeling. I want to know a little bit specifically what the Colts are running coverage-wise. I know that Coach Lou ran a lot of man coverage in Cincinnati. And I mean, they're running actually a quality amount of man. I mean, you bring in Charvarius Ward specifically to come do that, right? Xavier Howard, I always thought was a better zone corner. And to be fair, yeah, no, he's been way better in zone than man. So right now, they just don't have the horses to play a lot of man. And they're typically playing about 30% man coverage, which is a good amount. Avion Terrell isn't the guy you're going to come in and bring in to play man coverage. He's got slot corner size. I'm sorry. There's other options. Pick 23. We got Colton Hood, corner out of Tennessee, going to the Los Angeles Rams. Las Vegas Raiders wish they were picking this late. Yeah, I kind of called it out earlier. I love going corner for the Rams because it makes a ton of sense. Hood having a great year thus far. Probably ends up, at least in the discussion, of being a potential first-round player. Pick 24. We got Mateo Uiagalelei out of Oregon, the edge player there. He's built like a Dan Quinn guy at 6'5", 272. Dan Quinn, he likes them thick boys on the defensive line. I think, depending on how you feel about Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M or David Bailey out of Texas Tech, if you're like, hey, I mean, I made it work with Micah, worked out quite well. Not saying those guys are Micah, but at least in terms of lack ideal length, more twitched up and athletic to make up for a lack of size. I think those guys kind of fit that. But then again, Mateo fits the typical Dan Quinn standard at edge. Pick 25, Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon, going to the Denver Broncos. Also another easy one. You look at tight end, you're like, oh, Evan Ingram. Man, I remember when you used to be all that in a bag of chips. Been kind of a rough go. Kind of is what it is. Kenny Sadiq, he's the top tight end in this class. It's not really close right now. Max Clare has been playing better football, though, for Ohio State. So he might kind of rekindle that draft stock that kind of got hurt at the first couple of games of the year. But Sadiq is your flat-out tight end one right now. Connor Lew going to the Chargers, center out of Auburn. Yeah, you look at the offensive line in general right now, but specifically you look at that interior and like, yeah, no, we want to be able to run the football, so let's get some horses in here. I know they've been plagued with just bad luck when it's come to offensive line injuries. I'm not sure if we'll lose a first round player though. I look at him and I'm like, man, I want to like him like Tyler Linderbaum. And his game's a bit reminiscent to that, but he's not Tyler Linderbaum. So I don't know if I'm taking him in the first round. Pick 27. Caleb Lomu, tackle out of Utah, going to the Niners. Makes a ton of sense. Trent Williams, he appears to be slowing down finally. Father Time knocked, and appears Trent Williams opened the door. So you might want to start getting that heir apparent ready. Lomu might not be a guy that can start right away. I kind of think he might end up returning because I think he's got top 10 potential, checks a lot of boxes. But if he does come out, might be better to sit him year one and have him learn behind the tutelage of Trent Williams. Pick 28, Caden Proctor. Oh, and they're going to list him as a guard. But offensive lineman out of Alabama going to the Philadelphia Eagles. So whether I guess he's an heir apparent to Lane Johnson or if he's just essentially a replacement for Tyler Steen. How has Steen done thus far this season? I'm going to take a gander. Well, he's been all right. Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense to take the shot at Proctor, but it would be more so to be an heir apparent for Lane Johnson. Oh, okay. That's a fascinating one, I suppose. Pick 29, you got Amari Washington, defensive lineman, defensive interior, out of Oregon, going to the Chiefs. Oh man, he's built different. 6'3", 330 pounds, and he is explosive. He is violent. He is athletic. In the Penn State game, he broke up a screenplay, and I was like, oh wow. That was hell of impressive. And it was impressive. He gives them a little girth, a little meat in the middle there. I mean, they knew they were missing that, so much so they went and brought Noddy back. But he's probably not the long-term option. He's just kind of a good bridge till you figure out who can be that guy. All right, dogs are barking. We're at pick 30. Cowboys go with Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Safety out of Toledo. Listen, I don't think he's like the craziest athlete. I think he's a solid athlete, don't get me wrong. But I think he's never going to be a center fielder. But where he makes up for maybe the lack of being a high-end athlete is how impressive he is with his instincts, how he reads the quarterback, can bait the quarterback. He baited the quarterback into a pick 6 this year. He's active against the run. He just gets after it. I think he might have 1 or 2 forced fumbles this season. So I get it. Cowboys never go safety, so they're not going to. But I get why a lot of people are on the Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Golly, get the name down. Bus. There's a guy or two that I like a little bit better. It might test out a little bit better, but I get why people like Emmanuel. And then Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State, going to Detroit Lions. They have multiple guys hitting free agency, apparently. I know Alex Anzalone is one of them. So maybe you want to refurbish the linebacker position. They've done it once before. Jack Campbell, I remember. I didn't love that pick at the time. And I still don't love that pick. I'm like, yes, it's fine. He's a good player, but probably could have taken a shot at a more valuable position. The Gibbs pick, I'm like, yeah, no, you know what? They're right. Gibbs is a hell of a player. Hey, Goj. All right, we got the last pick here, Gojo. It's the Buffalo Bills. They go Chris Bell, wide receiver out of Louisville. Fun fact, Buffalo, man, you're looking at them and like, maybe we do need a wide receiver one. Don't worry. I think I never bet against the Bills. I bet on the Bills being able to right the ship sooner rather than later. I remember a couple of years ago, they went through this massive slump, and people got mad at me because I would not move them down my wide receiver rankings. Oh, you're such a Bills homer. I'm a Dolphins fan. I want this team to be piss poor. I just know, don't bet against Josh Allen and his ability to drag this Bills team to a winning record and a decent seed in the playoffs. But they could go with Chris Bell, who is kind of radically different than what they have on the current roster, who's he's thick. They got his size here, 6'2", 220. I have him closer to 230, but he's kind of got a dense build, and he can create after the catch. He can absorb contact really, really well. But he's kind of unlocked. He's not just a yak threat. He's also a vertical speedster, but he's also kind of unlocked the nuances of being a route runner this year. Am I saying he's perfect? No, but he's definitely, his route tree has expanded, and some of them routes have looked pretty darn solid. So I can buy it. I believe it. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you want to check out my mock draft from earlier this week, or maybe, I don't know, the stock report, because I cover these prospects week in, week out. I'm constantly trying to give y'all new names. I'm here for you year in, year out. You can check out those videos. I got them in the playlist up here. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.